It is just another Mantis Monday, and that's my fun day because today in dry fire, we are going to learn how to be more efficient so that instead of having to be faster, we can be sooner. If you want to keep your shooting skills primed, you have to regularly dry fire. Mantis X is the best dry fire tool available to help you to stay sharp all the time. I use it every week. So I have seen some debate on the intertubes recently about the value of a fast draw to first shot, because a lot of gunfights don't involve a really lightning fast draw to first shot, but enough do that it's a skill that you want to have. I always say if you're flying an airplane, you never go, gosh, this airplane has too much power and I wish I had more power in reserve. If you are, in a car and you're almost in a wreck, you never said, gosh, this car has too much braking ability. I just really don't like that I can bring this car to a stop faster, even if you don't have to. You see, if you don't have that much braking ability, you end up having problems, but having it and not needing it's a good thing. Same thing with a fast draw to first shot. We're working on some things to show you kind of the value of a really fast draw to first shot and why the standards are the place that they are. That said, as fast as you are right now, you can gain some speed through efficiency. And today, really in particular, I have one tip in particular that whether you are carrying appendix or I also have here a strong side carry gun, you can work on not using inefficiencies, which then will make you faster. And of course, I'm no genius here. I'm just standing on the backs of my teachers, my coach, the people who I have taken class from, and you've seen a bunch of them here on the Extra channel in terms of, who I'm taking classes from and where I'm learning. So in particular today, I would like to thank Scott Jedlinski from the Modern Samurai Project. Coach, I really appreciate you. And Scott is an incredible shooting coach, an incredible firearms coach, and he does privates all over Skype as well. So go find Modern Samurai Project on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and follow Scott. And I appreciate what he does so much, just as a pure shooting instructor and a diagnostician, that I've hired him for the year to help me be better. And so a lot of people are remarking, especially when I'm a student in classes, man, John, you've gotten a lot better. A lot of it's because of the coaching that I've received. Okay, let's get on with what we're doing. Okay, so here's something that I see in classes all the time, whether you're an appendix carrier or a strong side carrier, is I see people do two things. They move their shoulders when they don't need to, and they move their elbows when they don't need to. And that's what Scott would call unnecessary frenetic motion. And that unnecessary frenetic motion costs you time, costs you speed. Now there's something going on in our head that sometimes we feel like I have to have so much expended time and motion to get the gun out. So you got to get yourself out of that, and your goal is, I want to be as little motion as I can in order to get the gun out. Now here's one of the things that I see all the time, again, guns have been cleared already, is as I see people, and whether they are, here's my defensive fence, or they're hands down, or they're playing the fig leaf, whatever, executive protection, however that works out, or their hands up, don't shoot, hat brim because we're shooting competition, I don't care where your hands start. So what I see them do is, if you watch my left shoulder, is I see them when it's time to get the gun out, they do this. And they go to get the gun here, okay? So that takes time to lift my shoulder up to here, because then what happens is I go up and down. So did you see my head go left and right? You should have. So again, if I go, hey, wait a minute, let's take a look here, and I go up, sideways, and back. Okay, so all that motion takes time, and it takes time that I don't necessarily need to take. So let's think about what we're going to do with this here again as we look the gun into the holster and we're safely holstering the gun. So what does that mean? Well, really what I want to do here is, especially with appendix, my elbows, and I see other folks and they kind of will do this and they'll go, see how my elbows came way out to the side? Okay, good. Now, again, if I go way out to the side and then my elbows end up having to come back here to this spot close to me, well, then what does that mean? I've wasted time and I've wasted effort. Okay, cool. Now, let's think about this a little bit. If I can simplify, does that make me faster? I think it makes me demonstrably faster. So in other words, whether I'm here, whether I'm here, whether I'm here, whether I'm hands up here, here's my thing. I want to keep my elbows at my ribs as long as I can. And the only time that my elbows are going to leave my ribs is when the gun goes out. So I'm going to stay here as best I can. And that means I'm going to come and get my cover garment clear, go get the gun. Notice that my elbows didn't move. Notice my shoulders didn't come up. Then I'm going to grab the gun, put my hands together. Now my elbows are going to leave as my gun comes out and gets on target. And it comes back, does our thing. Great. So again, if I'm trying to go fast, we can even maybe time this in post-production, but if I'm trying to go fast, and what I have to do here is I have to go over, get back, and get the gun on target. That takes me a certain amount of time. Safely, easy into the holster. Okay. Now instead, if I'm here and I just go, how much time did that take? Well, it was definitely a faster stroke, and I can tell you, it may have looked faster, it may actually be faster, but it sure felt like a lot less work. Felt like I had very little to do. Let's try that again. Again, I'm just working here, keep my head up, my face up, kind of not shrug my shoulders, not get my elbows chicken winged out, just keep where I am. So maybe I'm here and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Hey man, I don't want any problems. I see my go signal, beep, okay, cool. Just gonna get the gun and drive the gun out. See how simple that is? Now, easy. Okay, so if I start to go a little bit faster, notice how the gun comes out and I don't have to worry about it. So it goes really quick, especially when I'm not shrugging my shoulders and I'm not moving. Now, how about strong side? So if instead, here at strong side, that I am going to draw a gun. Now, of course, on strong side, I can do one of two ways, right? Either way, my hand is going to come to the center line because that's where my hands are going to join. But strong side, I can either do a one-handed clear and draw, which is definitely a way to do it, or I can do a two-handed clear and draw, in which case my hand's going to come here, and as it drops, they're going to come together and come out. Which one's the right way? Do what you want to do, okay? Whichever one of those is fastest and easiest for you, you do that way. All right, so again, if I get this shoulder up really high and I go there, and now I gotta get the gun out, now guess what? That took me time, right? That shoulder is one I see all the time. Look it in. Okay, then secondly, what I see instead is instead of the shoulder coming up out of the way, what I see is I see people chicken wing their elbow way out. So they come way out here. See how far out my elbow is from me? Way out here. Well, now guess what? What happens here is this elbow is going to have to come all the way to here. So the more distance I give this elbow to go, distance takes time, and at a given speed, it's going to take you more time. So once again, instead, now of course I can't keep my elbows here. That won't work to get back to the gun. But what I want to do is as I'm clearing, whether I'm clearing here like this, driving the elbow straight back, getting a good grip on the gun, straight back. So if I'm standing facing you, notice that my elbow is not sitting way out here now. It is straight back. And then as the gun, I'm sitting up like this, gun comes out, joins together, and drives out to do its work. That's what I want it to do. Okay, nice and simple. Look, tap, in, okay? So I really want, and if I'm doing a single-handed draw, again, drive, get, go. So simple and easy. So let's look and let's feel what that kind of might look like. So if I'm doing a single-handed draw here, and I'm gonna look at that and I go, drive the gun out. That's how most people feel fast because they've cleared this cover garment so far. However, big challenge with the amount of distance you got to go. So instead, if I try to do things and just drive my elbow back and forward, so I'm just trying here to drive my elbow back and forward. Now, again, was that significantly faster? I was going pretty slow there in reality, but because I had efficiency of motion, I don't have to go as fast to even be faster. Feel it one more time here. Let's think about a two-handed clear here. So I'm going to drive my elbow back while I clear. See how easy that was? And again, I'm not trying to go fast there. I'm trying to be efficient, not shrug up my shoulders and do that. That can help you. Okay, so now you have your task. One of the best ways that you can learn how to do this and see where it is to videotape yourself, okay? So what that means is set your cell phone up, have your significant other or your roommate or your friend or your gun nut buddy or whatever, while you're in your dry fire, film you. It's one of the things that I do here all the time. So I'm gonna go back and watch this and watch myself doing things. And I will actually take video of myself, send it to my coach, Scott, and say, okay, coach, what do you see here? And then we'll talk about it and then I can work on things. But watching yourself to go, okay, wait a minute. Am I hitching my shoulder up? Am I driving my elbow out? Am I using unnecessary motion? I'll tell you one of the ones that has been really big for me recently is that I had this tendency to go get the gun and then just kind of shake the gun here and have to kind of double clutch to get the gun out of the holster. And I had to stop doing that. Instead, what I had to do here is I had to just go bounce the gun out of the holster. And that's one for me. So I go, just get the gun and let it out of the holster. So that's one that maybe can help you as well. So check yourself, Take out all of the unnecessary frenetic motion. Start with your elbows. That's honestly the first place. Think about T-Rex arms. Here, go. Here, go. And not waste the motion of your upper arms when you don't have to. It will make you a faster shooter if you work on it in dry fire this week. So 10 minutes a day, 7 days this week. Let me know how it goes for you.